This is lab 6-4, comprehensive case, the Dillard store data hypothesis testing. What I want to do here is, we're going to test a hypothesis in Excel. Specifically, we will see if the returns we generate are greater than the rest of the year. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Excel file, go to data, get data, and then I'm going to use the SQL Server. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this server and database right now. So there it is. The server is sql1.walton.org.edu, and the database is WCOB. I'll go ahead and press OK. Use my current credentials. Connect. While that loads, I'll be right back. So before making that next step, I want to go to this advanced options, and I'm going to put my SQL Server statement in, and I'll be right back. So to type that in, I'm going to go press OK. Make sure it says include relationship columns. Have to select tran date from transact, group by trans date, and order by trans date. One second. So just going back one more time, the database is actually WCOB Dillards. And then I'm going to do this again. Okay, perfect. I'm going to load the data. And I'll be right back when it finishes loading. So what I'm going to actually do is hover over here. And press edit. What I want to do is go to transform. I'm going to highlight the trans type. I'm going to go over to any column and then do pivot column. I'm going to go to amount. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to create a measure based on the sales and the refunds as separate values. So I'm splitting up the trans amount into two columns, one for sales and one for refunds. And the next thing I'm going to do is press OK after doing the amount here, letting that load. And after it's transformed, I'm going to load them into Excel. One sec. The next thing we're going to do is go to Home, Close and Load, so we can get that into Excel. And then I'm going to let that load into there. Next thing I'm going to do is click on my pivot table, click Insert Pivot Table. I'm going to add this data to the data model, press OK. And then next thing we're going to do is create a measure for refunds over purchases. So I'm going to go over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to File, Options. I need to create an add-in. So add-ins, Excel add-ins. Go. Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel, press OK. And after that loads in, I can see my Power Pivot here. And I want to go to Measures, View Measures. I want to call the table Create One. As it is, Measure 1. And then next thing I'm going to do, what I'm going to do now is change the measure 1 to R-B. Because we'll be measuring the average transaction amount. And then I want to go down to here. I'm going to put in my formula, which is sum query 1 r dash sum query 1p. And when I get that all put in, I'll be right back. What I'm going to do now is put my formula in. I click general and I'm going to press OK. Oh, I may have made a mistake on my formula, so I'm going to go back and see what went wrong. I was missing a bracket, but I went ahead and put that in. And here we are, pivot table, and I can see. So what I want to do is remove this field, put the F and P value, R and P value here, I apologize, the trans date here. And as you can see, it's going to auto-populate. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit so I can read them. We don't need year. We don't need quarter. We do need month for filter. And then the next thing we're going to do is, so what I want to do now is I only want to work with data from January. So we're going to filter out the pivot table, and then I'm going to click down the drop down next to trans data, which is right here. I'll press all, click January only. It's okay. So it should filter out to January only. Do it one more time. So I'm going to go back and select Jan. So, and here we go. The pivot table now provides data I need for the next part of the hypothesis test. The values from all January dates in the database. So now I'm going to need separate values for all the non-January data dates in the database. We'll do this now by, I'm going to copy the pivot table I just created and modify the filter. So right now I'm going to select the entire pivot table, including the filter cells, and copy the selection. So Control Shift over, Control Shift over, Control Shift down. Up. Control Shift down. Perfect. What I'm going to do right now is I already have my data copied over. I'm going to go ahead and paste it over MP. 1 second. Okay, I went ahead and copied it over into my cell D. I'm going to go ahead and filter out multiple items. And I'm going to, 1 second. So what I'm going to do, going back to here, I'm going to select all. And I'm going to unselect January. Press OK. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to have a custom name, rest of the year. And I'm going to press OK. This is clarifying the difference between the two pivot tables, and I renamed it right here for the rest of the year. So what I'm going to do next is part 3, perform an analysis of the data. So I'm going to run a hypothesis test in Excel. So first I'm going to go enable the data analysis tool pack. So it's File, Options, Add-ins, Analysis Tool Pack, Go, Analysis Tool Pack, OK. And I should see it in here. As you can see here, I went to Data, Data Analysis, and I'm going to do the 2 samples assuming unequal variances right here. Press OK. And the first range, I'm going to do 1 second while I highlight the cells for the range. Okay, so as you see here, I have the range. I'm going to change this to B3 to B96, not including the grand totals. And then I want to go to column E, starting here, Control Shift down, and then just changing it to 924. And I'm going to have my labels. And I'm going to press OK. By doing so, I'm ensuring the labels for the data January and the rest of the year to show up whenever I do the output. Okay, I got into a problem, but I see it right here. So I'm going to go press OK. Oh, we're right back. So I went ahead and made those corrections, and this is the data that I am left with. And repeating once again, this is the comparison of January and the rest of the year, and this is the output. It has the mean, variance, observations, hypothesized mean difference, and the statistics of it all. This is the end of lab 6-4, comprehensive case, Dillards store data hypothesis testing. Thank you.